Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AOR Super Formula League. Here we are at Zandvoot getting ready for the feature race. We've had a very dramatic sprint race. I mean, sprint race and dramatic are two very synonymous phrases, no matter where you are. But here in Zandvoot, oh my goodness, what an incredible, what a bonkers finish, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But we are having, again, a single lap qualifying session for the feature race. So... And again, it is a single qualifying session, so each driver will be out there. They're all out there, but they can't see each other. Our sprint race winner, let's ride on board with René Oosterkamp as he comes out. It looks like you're going to fall out the car with there's so much banking going on there.
Oh, you definitely, you think you are as well, and you're just getting pushed to the outside, but he's getting into turn one again. You know, just slide onto the apex there, not too aggressive, because if you... These cars and curbs are not the greatest of friends. Here, getting up to on the high side of the banking, getting you a slingshot effect out of the corner into this lovely left and right corners here. You're just flat out here. Just the tightest of lift here, hitting the apex, getting onto the curb. You can use a lot of it. That's the difficult curb there. Onto this double right-hander. You're just braking and just letting the car roll here. Oh, that's a little bit of a moment there, René. Getting into this left corner, and he's getting really tight there. He could use a little bit more of it, but that overcorrection might have lost him 2 to 3 tenths right there into the chicane. This is where you can really use a lot more of the curve than you think you can and have more speed through there. He's using all of the track here. Getting into the last 2 corners here. This is where we saw Charlie just completely try to destroy his virtual self and getting out of the last corner here. And what will it be? It will be P1. Wow.
There's a 15-1, yes, but only 6 cars have crossed the line so far. There is Shofi Lai now. Yeah, we saw a little bit of him as well during the course of the race. Didn't have a particularly great start. Yonchi Lin, look at that, still 3 tenths behind René Oosterkamp. A bit of a different grid this time from what we had before. But even with that big moment, René Oosterkamp looks like he's still going to hang on to the top spot. And a lot of that will be because other people struggling with their laps as well. We saw Eric Vizzi drop his car during his qualifying session. And, well, we didn't really see much of him for the rest of the race, unfortunately so. But let's see what he is able to do. He's not on a time lap at the moment, so they had a good 10 minutes to set their one and only time, so he didn't have to come out immediately. But there's no benefit to kind of leaving it later on.
No, there isn't. And this is actually also a mistake by Mr. Eric, or not Eric here, but Emre. Because normally in the feature race here, they do have 3 laps. Because we are having a longer, but he forgot, so they only had 1 lap.
I was picking him up, in the sprint race, and he forgot to set 3 laps. Evan.
And you know, it's. That's how it goes sometimes. But it gave, you know, some of these drivers waiting a little bit to get out there and put in the lap. But yeah, Eric here, he really needs, not just want, but he needs to get back out there and have a great result this time, because the sprint race for him is, he has already forgotten that, because there was nothing to write home about that particular race.
Very much so. He's got a great opportunity to really stick it to René Oosterkamp here, which is a strange phrase to ever say. But let's see what he's able to do then, as he comes around the RA line like turn, hangs on to the car so he doesn't fall out of it, and screams his way up to the line. And what is his time? It is a 16.2. So that is going to put
1.1 second off René. Wow.
This is not a comfortable track for Eric Vizzi, because we're used to seeing him very much towards the sharp end.
Oh yeah, definitely, and now he's just rolling a little bit around here.
So it's René Osterkamp again and Max Schneider this time on the front row. Rudolf Nagel and Marcus Pudniks on row 2. Jamie Nuttall, who retired from the first race, up on row 3. A storming effort for Jamie there. Eric Muska and Yossi Lin on row 4. Eric Vizzi and Robert de Jong row 5. Daniel Scott and Alex Waldo row 6. Not a bad start there for Alex in 12th place. And Martin Whoops and Peter Parnell. Again, Peter Parnell getting across the line, still in the 119 area, but still managing to set a time, which, bear in mind, we have around 19-20 cars trying to take part in this race. Setting a time is still able to get ahead of quite a few drivers because of, again, how difficult this track is.
Yeah, definitely. And with Peter there, even though he's slower, he ended the race higher than Xiao Lin's last time because he didn't crash. And that's the thing around here, if you crash that car, it's, as we saw earlier, that is the big one. But yeah, this track combination so far has really had René Osterkamp written all over it. He's been fast out there and he's been consistent. But we have seen, just a little bit of a, moment that could have cost him that sprint race, so it's not over yet.
And now you've got to think about the strategy a little bit more. Of course, it's now a feature race, so many more laps to deal with, which means many more opportunities to make that one crucial mistake. René Osterkamp doing René Osterkamp things. Didn't need to push. Had 4 seconds to Yossi Lane. Had the fastest lap. Didn't need to push. But of course he did because René Osterkamp,
Because René Osterkamp.
And it almost cost him. But how is his luck so good that the one place he does lose it, there is a bit of concrete there?
It's incredible. It really is incredible, and that's just a testament to how he's pushing the place where he knows that he can take a bit more out of the car, but it was so close. But yeah, this particular track is also where people who are really in their driving styles are really aggressive can really take some time out of everybody else, because it really rewards when you take a calculated risk, but then again it really bites if you don't.
It comes back to the risk reward, doesn't it? Because you do have to take the calculated risk. You have got to try something unorthodox, as we saw against Daniel Scott. You've got to pull off those, or you may well find yourself in a position of having to do something strange or unusual to make that pass, because overtaking is so difficult here. The start finish straight is not particularly long, but in saying that, if you lose time through the Ari Lindyke turn, or even the turn before it, the Kumo Bend, as we're actually staring at straight now, if you lose time there because you're flat out from the Kumo Bend right the way through to Tarzan, you will find it so difficult to make that time back up again with the nature of this circuit. It's so easy to lose time, which sounds like an obvious statement, yes, and I'm very good at making obvious statements, but think this through in the fact that you're far more likely to make a mistake at a very hard circuit such as Zandvoot. So an easier track is not quite what I'm trying to say, but there are some circuits that don't pose as much threat of mistake. Monza, prime example.
Definitely. And another thing that these drivers have to think about in this race as well is when to take that mandatory pit stop, because this is the feature race. This is a longer race, so there's much more strategy. It's not you go ham from flag to flag. You need to think about the tire usage, when to pit. If you pit early, well, you might be coming out of in traffic with a lot of other guys that you then have to battle and then lose time. So this is, again, now you need to think completely different to what you were doing before.
Very true indeed. So now we're in the gridding phase. So this is where people change over to the race setup and start to really prepare mentally for the task ahead. There you go. You're starting to see the cars that have confirmed their spot. That's why they pop into existence. That's when they've made any changes they are going to make and loaded in. And all push to pass is replenished, so everyone's light is green once more. We did see a few people exhausting their push to pass allocation in the sprint race, which, yeah, why not? It's there to use, so why wouldn't you?
Unless you're René Osterkamp, he still had half a tank. But yeah, that's the thing again. Strategy with when are you going to use that? Because you can't use it throughout the whole entire race, because then you will not have anything at the end.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Is that you can use them at the beginning, but it leaves you very much open to counterattack towards the end. And we've seen how powerful it is. The sprint race really did show that.
Yeah.
So the grid is being formed. 18 cars at least starting the way. We'll see how many have all appendages attached. I'm going to be interested to see how Jamie Nuttall does. We didn't see him at all in the sprint race. 40 minutes of action here at Zandvoort await us. We know this process by now. It is time to wind them up and to let them go. Not such a strong start for René Osterkamp. Someone off into the grass already at the back of the field, but no harm, no foul it would seem, but it was a good enough start from Osterkamp. Oh no, that was Jamie Nuttall. Oh, the commentator's curse is strong in me today. I was looking forward to seeing how he's going to do, starting in 5th, and he's backwards off at Tarzan as Alexander Waldo nearly into the pack of Daniel Scott. Oh my goodness, it's all happening here. Alexander Waldo nowhere to go. Nothing he could have done there. Luca Gramke is the one that spun and has lost his nose as a result.
That is, 3 into turn 1. What we saw there with Jamie Nuttall is just not gonna go, and he probably doesn't know that he has 2 cars on the inside, and then he's just getting a little bit of a tap, and we are just gonna get a replay of it here, I think.
Well, that's him coming back on
that's
after.
It. Oh, as we see here, so see 1, 2, 3 there, and he just, there's just no room for the other 2, so it's just 3 going into 1, and that's just never really gonna pass. And look at just, he spun. He was a bit too aggressive with that right foot and spun at the beginning. So, well, what a start to this feature race.
Yeah, absolutely so. Eric Vizzi up into 5th now. He's looking at the back of Marty Pugnes as that's Daniel Scott coming in already. Well, the Petronas liveried car. He's coming to the pits at the first opportunity, and someone else has followed him, Alexander Waldo. Now, I can understand Waldo coming in so early, because, of course, he has had that incident with Luca Gramke, who has retired the car. The number 77 is out.
He hit Daniel Scott, so Daniel might have gone in there as well to get a little bit of that repaired, and seeing if they could, because now he will get out in some free air and not really have to battle with anybody, as the RC championship here at the front there. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the distinctive yellow and black colour scheme of the SIMRC guys occupying the podium spots at the moment. Marcus Pugnick's doing what he can to hang on to those. Here's Yotzi Lin, was in 2nd for most of the race, most of the sprint race, I should say, up until, of course, that final moment where it all came undone in the blink of an eye on the back of Eric Muska, who spent vast majority of the sprint race well within the top 10 and has started this race in a similar fashion. Lots of slipstreaming going on, as you would expect, down the start-finish straight. It is the best opportunity for it, but no passing going on now. People thinking a bit more about when to deploy the all-important push to pass. They will have a higher allocation of it for this race, but they can't just use it every single time. As tempted as they might be, they will run out well before the end of the race if they were just to keep hitting the button. Of course, it does have a cooldown period. Whoa, look at that. Someone very, very squiggly behind Martin Brooks.
That was Evan Imre. And just to touch on something you said there, they actually have the same amount as they do.
Oh, okay.
So they really need to think about how to use it. So if Ooh, is that
Oh, no.
funny? Just getting way too aggressive there, and he's losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions in one
Ouch.
corner. And yeah, well, so that's really not his race there. But knowing him, he will not be too disappointed by not having to fight all of these guys. He likes to drive around there, but having so much pressure on him is not really his style. Just trying to get out there and do some laps. These guys will probably take each other out, and that's Aaron going on the outside into Tarzan here. Oh, 3 into 1, guys!
Now, Evan would have wanted to have used the slipstream a bit longer, but he couldn't, as Martin Vux was simply too close. He could not continue to stay in the slipstream. Evan was gaining on him, but had to jump out of it. Oh my goodness me, very, very high line there. And look at the exit speed that Stefan Schackler had from that banked hairpin. He had a great overspeed there, but just couldn't quite overcome Evan Imre ahead of him. Then you've got Jamie Nuttall following his spin out of the top 5, looking to try and gain as much time as he can, as quickly as he can. As we've already said numerous times, it's very, very hard to pass here, so this is going to cost him time. Back up towards well, look at this. We've got 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th in this group here. I think there's a back marker in there as well, I think. As we've got, René Osterkamp is away and gone in the distance. We can see Marcus Buchnitz, I think that is, using a bit of push to pass. Several people using push to pass along the start-finish straight, which is absolutely ideal time to do it. That's Jonsi Lind trying to get past Eric Muska. Not able to do it. Tried, but not on this occasion. Evan Imre having another go at Martin Vups. Again, using push to pass. Goes for the high line around Tarzan. Can he do it? He has managed to retain the position, and he's got him. Evan Imre gets into the top 10.
What a pass there, and this time he, got it hanging on. Oh, that's a bit of a touch, and that's into the wall. Oh my goodness. Peter has spun there. Wow, that was just the slightest of touch, and at that point where the car is so bound there, that's just, oh my goodness me, as we see him. Oh, that looked weird.
That was a very strange incident for Peter there, but still going, didn't hit anything. Eric Vizzi now into 5th position, having gotten past Eric Muska, now has, that's Martin Puchnix, his next target. As we've got a side-by-side here, Jamie Nuttall and Jan-Philipp Boost still side-by-side. That's Jamie on the outside. Oh, he's forced the mistake! Oh, but couldn't use it. Couldn't use the overspeed there. As René Osterkamp again claims the fastest lap of the race out on his own, enjoying the scenery to himself. But some great racing going on behind. So, goodness me, Jonsi Lind and Shulfi Lai are 7th and 8th. They're a little bit, they've got a little bit of distance between them. Here comes Jamie Nuttall again on Jan-Philipp Boost.
Oh, that's a lock-up and a half right there into Tarzan, and his tires will not be happy about that at this point. But he's really, really pushing, and this might be one of those times where you have to take, just a little bit back, because you're just pushing so much that you are not really gaining anything. You're just destroying your tires at this point in time.
There's also a bit of frustration, I'm sure, for Jamie Nuttall following that spin early on. Here we go. That's Jonsi Lind and Eric Muska. So Eric's been under attack for quite a bit of the race so far. Now with the potential podium sitter from the sprint race, were it not for that incident, now really on his tail. Now what does he do here? Does he defend, which he's perfectly entitled to do, or does he simply let Jonsi go if Eric feels that the number 99 car is quicker? Well, time will tell.
Do you think that Eric will just let him go? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. That's just no. Oh, that's a little bit too much there, Jan. And that's Jamie going on the outside into the last corner, and he will get that. They're side by side down the straight.
Underpants, please, in car number 64. Oh, but look at that! This Jan Bush has kept his nerve, kept his foot down, but Jamie Nuttall, with the momentum, has finally wrestled that 12th position away. God, I don't blame the cameraman for not knowing where to look here. There's so many potential battles here. This is absolutely fantastic. Max Schneider hanging on to third position. He was in that podium spot last time around. And now Martis Putniks looking to try and break the CMRC stranglehold on the podium spots. What have we got a replay of here?
This is Peter going to... that's a bit too much speed there. But he is still going here, but just a little bit too much speed. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars within, less than a second between them. This is a great battle. But Schneider, he's a bit slower than his teammates. They're just getting away from him, in front of him at the moment, and just right now keeping these guys behind him. And let's see for how long that they will stay here, because they want to get up there and try and see if they can catch Rene.
Well, Rene, again, no disrespect meant. All of these guys, top or bottom, are absolutely fantastic drivers, but Rene is just in a class of Rene at the moment. He's showing why he is one of the best out there.
Yeah, he's 5.5 seconds in front of Rudolf Nagel, and Nagel is not a slow driver.
No, absolutely not. And we've only just hit a quarter distance in this race. So absolutely superb driving. Now, some of those that have had a difficult start may think about the undercut, may think about coming into the pits early to get the mandatory pit stop out of the way. And just as I mentioned, pit stop, that is what that 0 and 1 count is. So Daniel Scott is the lead car of those pitted. Of course, we saw him come in right at the beginning of the race. So we'll see if that pays off for him. Here we go. Again, I still feel like I need to tilt my head along with the footage here. Which of course
keep a hold on your chair so you're not blowing out after the car.
If you hear an almighty great bang, I leant too far over my chair. Yeah. So we're on board with the number 86. Or we were briefly. Now on board with the number 30. So Yorty Lin on the back of Eric Muscat. Oh, that's very high for the number 30. It
really is, and as we saw there on board, this is such a, as I call it, a Mickey Mouse track. It's just such a small track, and it's like driving on a roller coaster, just getting a little bit too wide there for Xiaolin, but he's really pushing it, and this is the issue they're having, because they're just getting the slipstream of each other at this point in time. So somebody has locked up.
No, well, many people I'm sure have locked up by this point. There's a lot of virtual Pirelli down on the road at this point, I dare say. But
I think they're using Yokohama, to be fair.
Fair enough.
Because I think that's at least some of the sponsors on the car. So.
Okay. Well, that would make sense.
Let's be fair on that point. But,
absolutely. Or is there an opportunity here for Eric Muscat to attack Eric Vizzi?
Oh, I think we are on board with Muscat. I think, we are.
Oh, beg your pardon. So that's defending against that would make sense. Defending against Yorchi Lin. But again, a bit of you saw a wiggle there from the number 30 car. So again, he loves that almost impossibly high line, utilising the AstroTurf even off the top of that band curve. Evan Imre and Stefan Slacher. So the AOR veteran defending hard against the number 13. And Stefan had a really good run, but nowhere to use that overspeed. How many times have we said that in this race? And that is the story of this circuit. There's a man that doesn't need to worry about anything whatsoever. 7.5 seconds nearly to the good Rene Osterkamp ahead of the rest of the field. Rudolf Nagel doesn't have the luxury, or doesn't have as much luxury. That's a back marker that's directly behind, so no one he needs to worry about. However, Max Schneider has been under pressure all race long. So many drivers are under pressure from someone at least. There is the number 86, Martin Putniks, once again trying to break into the podium. And again, Rene Osterkamp doing Rene Osterkamp things up top. Oh, and that's someone into the pits. Who was that banzaied into the pits?
It's Xiaolin who's taking this opportunity.
Now, I wonder whether he'd do that, because again, we saw how quick he was in the sprint race, and if he felt he was being held up and losing time in that pack, I'm not surprised actually that Yorsi Lind has chosen now to to get his pit stop out of the way. Now, he should, I would think, come out ahead of Daniel Scott. As Daniel Scott pitted so early, it's difficult to kind of judge his pace against the pack at the moment. But that now puts Eric Vizzi on the case of Marcin. Well, he was on the case of Marcin Putniks. But can he now start to push towards the top three? As there's a little bit of breathing space between the two Erics. Eric Vizzi ahead of Eric Muska. But now the number 144 without immediate challenge from Yongqi Lin, who is back out on circuit and quite a bit ahead of Daniel Scott, as mentioned. He actually has Jan and Philip Bush in between himself and the Petronas flavoured car. Is anybody else going to adopt the same tactics? Certainly not from what we can see.
Not at this point in time, but these cars, when they're getting out of the pits, they are on cold tires, so you will lose a bit of time at the beginning. So what we might see if he's getting close or just getting into that, it's extreme seeing them go through that corner as well. But if you just are close with somebody else, you really have the upper hand when they get out of the pits, because you're on cold tires and now you have heated up your tires and are really on the groove there, so you have more grip. So that could be one of the things for Xiaolin when he gets there.
Ooh, trouble! That's Peter, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Peter. Peter is not having a great second race here.
No, indeed. I mean, he did the right thing and stayed very much out of the way. But, unfortunately, Peter's car is quite distinctive, being that very bright colour, the pineapple grips, man. But
yeah, it's one of the greatest, liveries that we have on there.
I don't know. I think the frog is quite good. Oh, push the pass being used here by Marty. Can he get it done, though? Again, it was a great overspeed. No, he can't. He must have been using that for a little while before that came to an end. We see that the slow blinking light on the top of his car indicates that he's done for the moment and needs to cool down once more before being used again. Eric Vizzi he's either biding his time or he has no choice but to bide his time at this point. But this is maybe a case of Maximilian Schneider actually have a car that is set up for the straight, and the two others are just, they have more lap time speed, but they can just not get closer to him when it comes to Shofi Lai is gaining on Eric Musker, as well as we see Waldo and Daniel Scott. Oh, that's uncomfortable for Waldo. Big lockup, though, for Daniel Scott. An opportunity for Waldo to get underneath the number 31. Can he get it done? No, he bows out of it. I think the push to pass ran out just at the wrong moment there for Alexander Waldo. Again, you can see how twitchy his car is, the number 4, as he's coming out of the corners. A great opportunity there, but well defended from the Petronas number 31.
Yeah, and he can click it off by himself, but you also need to be in a position where you're like, all right, is this safe? As we just see Robert here just being, no,
ouch. Oh, and a sympathy spin there right behind him, which, that's Jan-Philipp Busch. You don't expect to see a car detonate right in front of you, and he's hit the brakes, but because he's mid-corner, the car's just spun around, but no harm, no foul for him. But here, back up to the Erics. Oh no, replay here. Martin Vups, what's happened to him?
Oh, okay. I think he's let the leader
through.
Yeah, he's let the leader through. It just it showed as him slowing down, and you're like, what's going on? And of course he will respect the leaders.
He did that at a good place as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing the backmarkers have got to be very wary about, is letting leaders through without costing them and themselves a huge amount of time. Now, for any racing discipline, it is, whilst the onus is on the faster car to make their way past, for those being lapped under blue flag conditions, they have got to be predictable and be lapped in a safe manner, which is very difficult in a place like this. As in comes, and that was Marty Putniks, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
The number 86 car is in.
But when you have the blue flag, you have to let the car by, as Waldo here gets up, and that we have seen before. And that's
another
a rear corner going off then. And we have seen that before. When you take a shallow line through there, it just unsettles the car in a way. But here, at the leader at the moment, René Osterkamp, with 8.7 seconds, he's just... That's a Sunday stroll out there. He's just slowly around. He could stop and get a cup of tea at this point in time.
He could very much. I don't know what the local delicacy is around Zandvoot, but I'm sure the Dutch viewers will let us know what what would be available. But I mean, yeah, it's one of these things that he could jump out and get into a different car if he so felt like it. But either way, a bit of a lock-up there from Eric Muska. Now in 5th position, behind Eric Vizzi, with a few pit stops going on. Still a lot of pit stops still to play. 9 out of the top 10 still to see the pit lane.
But as we can see on the left side, Charlene actually got past Marcus Puchnik there. So he has been
very true.
A benefactor of him pitting at when he did. So he just gained a position right there. But these two teammates right at this point in time are battling and maybe losing a little bit of time, because what we are seeing here is that Snyder is he's pulling out. He's 1.3 seconds ahead of these two at this point in time. So if Muska has the speed, he needs to get by Eric Fischer at this point in time.
Far easier said than done, as Schauffele is now back out on circuit, having served his pit stop. A little bit deep there for Eric Vizzi, but does manage to stay on terra firma. Who else is going to pull the trigger? And that's another thing as well, is that you have in your own mind what your strategy is, but when you see other people pitting quite different times to you, a lot of drivers will start to think, should I be following them, or do they stick to their own guns? Most drivers will tend to stick to their own guns, but it does put that kind of seed, for some drivers, a bit of seed of doubt. Have I got this right? And that's the thing, you don't know until you let the strategy play out. As Eric Muska is in the 144 car, is now serving his mandatory pit stop just past the halfway stage.
Yeah, and he, as we just saw him get across the line there with Steve getting ready with the flags, as Evan is also deciding to keep onto the track at this point in time.
Stefan Schlacher has come in along with Jamie Nuttall. So now a lot of drivers just choosing just beyond the halfway stage. Oh, a bit of a twitch there for René Osterkamp, but again at a very slow point. So caught it easy enough. Most people choosing just after the halfway stage, personally, as I would. Anytime I'm racing with a mandatory pit stop, I tend to do it just after the halfway stage.
Yeah, there's always a good and bad thing about that, because it really depends on how much the tires are giving you. If they are really, really cold when you get out and they take a long time to heat up, then I would tend to actually get it either really early or really late, because in the middle of the race you sometimes lose a lot of time, and it also depends on when you can get in front and behind, and who are you racing with. So there's a lot of factors there, but definitely a great idea, and a lot of them have pitted at this point in time. But the cars doesn't really need... Oh, that's a spin!
Whoops! Oh, cold tires very
that
good,
is
perhaps.
Yeah. And that's all that time that we were talking about him, that he needed to gain out there with new tires. He's just lost that, and right now Jimmy Nuttall is getting all the way up the backside with the frog car and the ice, looking for an opportunity.
Indeed. And we know Jamie's served his pit. I mean, his tires will be quite unhappy by the end of the race as someone's weaving. That was Stefan Schlacher, I think, that was actually weaving down the start-finish straight just to get some heat into the tires, which I guess if you're in a hurry, he's a good 11 seconds behind Schauffele at this point for 8th position. As Aaron Muska getting very, very close to the back of Jamie Nuttall. We'll see if that battle is going to... Well, we're pretty sure that battle is going to really develop. As we now look at Eric Vizzi in the 17 car, still no sign of the pit lane for the top 5. That's Jan-Philipp Busch that's had trouble
Oh, we've seen that. Yeah, so good. We can see twice, and that we've seen a couple of times, and it's just again being greedy with that throttle, and in these cars, it's so easy to be there.
Eric Vizzy flirting again with that very slippery gravel and grass on the outside of the track, but again trying to just get back into the rhythm, which can be quite difficult. You've gotten used to how your car feels, and now especially after a spin it can be very difficult to kind of get back into the zone, get your head screwed back on and get on with the job. Push to pass being utilised by Muska, his on cooldown by Nuttall. Is that going to be enough? No, and Jamie Nuttall didn't feel the need to defend fresh air there. I think Muska realised that he wasn't going to gain quick enough and remains where he is with the tail kicking out slightly coming out of Tarzan. But that shows how hard he's pushing. Bit of a different line there from, either intentionally or not, from Nuttall to Muska. But Muska still right under the rear wing of the number 14.
Yeah, and he's, you know, what we're seeing here is he's frustrated because he knows that he's faster than Jamie at the moment. Not a sentence that is, you know, often said. But right now he's just losing time behind here, and you know, taking all of that goodwill out of those new tires. He can't really put those lap times in that he knows he can, and the guys in front of him who haven't pitted are just gonna stroll away from him at this point in time. So he needs to get by, and he needs to get by fast, but he's actually losing a little bit of time at this point in time, and went from 3 to 5, 6 tenths at this point. And you're just so frustrated as a driver there, because you know you're faster than the guy in front, but you're not that much faster than the guy in front.
That's the thing, isn't it? Is that you need to be decidedly quicker than the guy ahead at a track like this that doesn't present too many overtaking opportunities. You know, you can be that little bit quicker, but all that's going to do is close you up behind the driver you're trying to pass. You need to either force the mistake, or you need to do something really out of the ordinary to make that pass. Eric Vizzy using a bit more push to pass, and our race leader has decided to give his pit crew something
Nagel.
to do.
Nagel has put into the pit.
Oh, it's Nagel, I beg your pardon. Yes, so it is.
Yeah.
So that gives Rennie Osterkamp even more. He does know he has to pit, doesn't he? He's gonna pit on the last lap.
I think he knows. But you know,
he's been doing this long enough to know.
With the speed he has, you know, he can go into the pits and not lose a second at this point in time. It's just incredible. Oh,
that's now Yorchi Lin's going to be right behind the freshly pitted Rudolf Nagel. That was a fairly comfortable overtake there for Yorchi Lin. I think Marcus Putniks realised that wasn't really his fight.
I think the guy he.
Oh no, there's a back marker.
Yeah, that's a back marker, right? That was Peter Parnell, who's still going out there.
Well, Peter definitely realised that wasn't his fight then, and let Jerry through.
Oh, but see, this is the difference between cold and hot tires. You know, Rudolph had quite a bit of a gap here, but Jalin is just getting so close to him at this point in time. And those tires take a lap or two to really get up into temperature. So that's 1.5, maybe even 2 seconds that he gained them in just in that first sector alone. So let's see if he can defend here. Oh, he just got a little bit of a bad exit in that chicane right there, but he's still piling on the pressure here. Now with the push to pass firmly on Rudolph at the front, and Shelly is on the recharge, so he's not gonna be able to really dive anything here.
But all that's done is drag Xiaolin with him. Yeah, Eric Nagel didn't gain anything from doing that. As coming out of the pits now, I think that's another back marker that's just coming out.
No, I think that's Eric. That's Eric Vision, who is in P7.
Oh, blimey! Yeah, so it is. Oh, look at again, Yorchi Lin trying his best to force that unorthodox move. It's very dangerous to try and make a move there of all places, but we have seen it work. But again, Rudolf Nagel's not doing anything wrong. Perfectly entitled to defend the position. Now our race leader is in. That was a big lockup.
I think Pani might have hit the wall again.
Peter having a... But determination is, you're going to find his face under that name.
Yeah.
He will carry on. He's really determined to see this race through. What happened to? Oh no, that wasn't Parnell. That was Nuttall, I think.
No, that's Eric Vichy, and I think it was Pawnee. I have to say, I think it was Pawnee.
I thought it was a green car that had the spin. I saw that it was Eric Vichy that had the sympathy spin. Oh, look at this. Nargle defending the inside line. Jerry Lynn, is he going to commit to the outside line? No, he can't do it. He's bowed out of that one. But Nargle nailed himself to the defensive line very, very, very early.
But see who those have overtaken. Schneider has just gotten out of the pits here, and Marcus is now on hot tires, and we've seen what that difference can be. And Jarek going on to the inside here. That's another place that you overtake. Oh my goodness me. Wow.
No, you don't make overtakes there. That was outrageous. But wow, did he make it work?
That is a commitment and a half. Oh my goodness me, that could have been
horrible.
That could have been a big one. Oh my goodness, and Rudolph were like, no. And then he had to give it up because otherwise they would have crashed. And here, Marcus, again, he's really piling on the pressure on Schneiderlin. So what we're seeing right now is that the guys who've been pitting first, they really have an advantage of having the tires in the operating temperature, and it takes the guys coming out of pits just a lap or two, and now both of them with push to pass at this point in time. He really needs to overtake now. This is the time. If he's gonna do it, he's gonna push everything that he can at this point in time, Marcus.
No, 10 minutes to go, 3/4 of the race run, and we've got some fantastic duels lined up for us. Not involving him, though.
No.
Not involving our race leader. But Evan up to second. I bet he's enjoying that. However, he hasn't seen the pit lane, so he knows that, but he's enjoying his time up in the top 3.
Oh, definitely.
Can't blame
but
him
he's
for
going to get caught by these, aren't he? With the speed that we know that these threes are having. Evan can really be a cork in the bottle for these 5 guys or 4 guys up here, because they have a lot of speed, and Evan,
which he would know.
It's okay.
Evan would know. Yeah. It's okay you enjoying your time up top, Evan. Did I see in the forums that he's been in AOR for 10 years now?
That's
or was that some time ago?
Yeah, that's some time ago that he posted 10 years. So I think maybe 12.
You want to talk about commitment?
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to remember, I've been out. Up until recently, been out of AOR for quite a long time. And Jerry Lynn was the new fastest lap of the race. But again, Evan will know that he's being closed in very, very hard. I reckon Evan will jump into the pits as soon as he's caught.
Yeah.
By Yotzi Lynn. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
But do
here
you
we go.
think?
Max, no.
Yeah. Do you think at this point in time, do you think Osterkamp has gotten over the radio that somebody else is taking that fastest lap?
We'll see if he takes it back in a lap.
Oh, that's a lot of curb right there Marcus is using. And that curb can really be deadly, because you can really unsettle the car going into that corner. Of course, you're cutting a bit of the track, but oh my goodness, I would never have taken that much curb on there, because the car could just be stuck on it and you will get into the wall. I'm
watching the tower and how quick. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Rennie Osterkamp did get the message, but Jerry Lynn is closing quickly on Evan. So Evan's not coming. He still hasn't come in. Evan has still not come into the pits. He's leaving this very, very late. Yeah. Which, of course, he's perfectly allowed to do. He's not breaking any rules by doing it, but he's just losing masses of time because his tyres are utter sponge by now.
Oh,
whereas
well,
Yotzi Lynn is just devouring that gap.
And these guys also, we have to say, in a little bit of a different league. Oh, as Charlin is, he's on red. He has used up quite a lot of his push to pass at this point, as we have Evan here, and he knows that we are looking. That is why he's still out there. I bet you he knows that he will be on the stream and that we will talk about him.
Every driver wants their bit of stream time, and I defy any driver to tell me otherwise.
Well, no, I will say,
unless you're last and lapped and upside down and over the wall,
or if you get commentator cursed, as we have happened.
Has happened a few times tonight, yes. So it's certainly happened quite a lot of times in my commentary career, or if the co-commentator threatens to take away all the control of the big red button.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
That's somewhat a commentator's thing more than a driver's thing, I grant you. And Evan is in. Yeah, I thought he would. As soon as he was caught by Yauncy Lin is when he decided to come into the pit. He may well have decided he was going to pit in the very closing stages of the race. Curious decision. I'm not sure why he's left it so long, but either way, he's enjoyed his time in the top two. I have no doubt.
Well, he's been out there just putting in his own lap times at this point in time, and he's gotten out right in front of Jamie Nuttall. So, and he's in P9, as we see here. Right? Oh, Jamie, are you gonna go for a dive and a half? We know that you can do it. No, he's not close enough.
Well, not yet, but he's not going to take him long because, of course, Evan's tyres are absolutely stone cold. And it's light green again. I swear that was red earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, he had a look. But Evan just had enough pace to keep the 14 behind. And right behind them is Eric Muska. We've seen how quick he is already. So this is going to be a fantastic three-way battle. You just see that Evan's car just cannot grip at all coming through that 180 hairpin. But an easy pass for the frog emblazoned car. And now Evan's going to have some company from Eric Muska in the 144. Up towards the top, though. Yauncy Lin and Rudolf Nagel engaged in battle for second. Can Evan Imre get enough heat to his tyres to do anything against Eric Muska in the final 5 minutes, and still plenty of battles to conclude?
And Muska will be, he will be a bit angry with himself at this point. He has lost a lot of time with that spin. He was not really expecting to be behind Evan Imre at this point in time. Is he gonna get an exit? We have seen passes here, even though you shouldn't. Oh, but see, Imre, he's placing his car in getting a bit wide there, but he's just placing his car so that you can't really pass him. But wow, he's under pressure at this point in time with only 4 minutes left to go. And just, guys, look at the gap on the tower. 18 seconds at this point in time.
Good grief. And you got to think, it was those two battling hard. A couple of races back, wasn't it? Rennie Ossegat, and it was Yauncy Lin that nailed. Who was it? Rennie was fighting. Maybe an Eric Visit. I can't remember who came third that day, but it was Rennie, Yauncy, and one other, and I've forgotten who it was. And it was Yauncy that just did the dive right at the end. Now Evans' light is red once again, but I think his tyres are starting to come good for him now, as he's got himself a little bit of breathing space between himself and Eric Muska. Or, as we were talking about earlier, or as you alluded to earlier, Nick, it could be his car set up a little bit more for the straights, which would be odd because there's not very many of them at this circuit. But then there's another way of thinking there, in that it's nearly impossible to make a pass in the twisty bits.
Yeah, exactly.
So why not make yourself quicker on the straighter bits? Which, I can understand that.
And it is a tactic, because if you are then ahead of them, as Osterkamp has done another fastest lap, but if you are fast on the straighty bits, as you said, it's easier for you to overtake. But if you're slower through the twisty bits, the guys can't really pass you, as we actually see Aaron here getting closer and closer to Jamie. So interesting.
Yeah, his tyres have come good.
Yeah,
his tyres have started to come good. So Evan could well be challenging for that 9th position, which we did see him in earlier. So he has the legitimate pace to be challenging for that spot, although with the lack of... Actually, I don't know that the lack of push to pass is going to make too much of a difference. There's only 2 minutes to go. This race is absolutely flown by with the amount of battle.
That's a log up. That's a log up. He will lose a bit of time, but as you say, if the lack of it, I will say if you don't have, that can be costly, because it's a lot of time that you can lose by not having that push to pass.
Very true indeed. As we're in the closing stages of what's been an absolutely thrilling night of racing here at Apex Online Racing for the Super Formula League. Eric Musca still looking on. Can he challenge for that 10th spot from Evan Imre? Has he got anything left in his tyres? Bearing in mind they are absolutely fresh on Evan's car. We will see, as we have got less than a minute and a half to go. Who knows where Rennie is? That's not Rennie. That's Rudolf Nagel. That's one of the other SimRC cars.
That's if you're so far ahead, the camera can't catch you. That's where he is at the moment.
That is exactly it. Yeah, he is in a different country.
Yeah.
He's already finished the race and gone to the airport. That's how it's gone for him. As this field, oh look at that! Evan has lost a bit of time to Jamie Nuttall, so Jamie has really got enough pace to just give himself a bit of a gap to secure that 9th spot. Or if anybody else has a problem, like we saw with Jordi Lind, I'm sure he's not going to thank me for keep referencing that. But again, that is. You never give up at a circuit like this. Well, you never give up anywhere, really, but you never give up, particularly at a circuit like this, where a mistake can happen to anyone at any time.
Yeah, exactly. And Evan has saved a little bit of push to pass at this point in time. It's still red, which means he still have a little bit. He has maybe 10, 20 seconds. We don't know. But that small amount that he has is... No! Was that a spin? Oh my goodness me!
And Rennie Ossigam still using some of his push to pass. We are now on the final lap. The timer has elapsed, so we've got Rudolf Nagel trying his best to get past Jordi Lind. What happened here?
Goodness.
Oh no! Oh my goodness me! Well, I did just say a mistake can happen to anybody, but unfortunately, Evan Imre just had nowhere to go.
No,
he just had nowhere to go. There was a back marker that he caught the back of. That's a great shame. But look at this. Rudolf Nagel nearly pushing Jordi Lind and going for an inside manoeuvre. That's a very unorthodox place to try and move. But trying and trying and trying. Outside is never going to work there, I'm afraid. But he is putting his car in places that is distracting Jordi Lind. That's exactly what he's looking for. It's penultimate lap for these guys, I think. The checker flag is out and waiting for Rennie Ossigam, but we're not looking at him right now as we're coming into the closing stages of the lap. My goodness me. Well, there's Rennie Ossigam, just to remind you who the leader actually is. But what can Nagel do? He's got no opportunities left, I think, to be able to get past. Rennie Ossigam has crossed the line, and oh my goodness me, Jordi Lind has hung on to second.
That was he was really getting pushed at the end, and here we see Maximilian Schneider getting P4 and then Putzka P5 and then Joseph Lind. Oh, Jamie Nuttall. That has been a battle and a half. And Eric Musca, as we see here, I think he actually hit Evan. Yeah, he hit Evan because Evan just lost a little bit of the car and wasn't really on throttle where Eric was supposed to be. So he put on the throttle and just hit the back of Evan, and Evan had nowhere to go. And unfortunately, they hit each other. But you know, as we see here, just see Evan just not being able to be on the throttle and just into the wall there. And well, Eric is actually quite lucky that there wasn't more damage, so he's actually able to get the car back around here and still get P11.
And P11 is exactly where he would finish, because Daniel Scott was a lap down following his very early pit stop. His strategy not coming quite good. But what a race we have had here in Zandvoort. It's such a great track. It always gives such incredible racing, and tonight has proved it once again. So there is the confirmed positions before any stewards intervention. Rennie Ossigam running away with the victory with a 20-second gap, but Jordi Lind having to fend off the advances of Rudolf Nagel to secure the second spot on the podium. Schneider, Pudnix, Yofi Lee in 5th or 6th. I've actually lost where that was there, flicked on too quick. Eric Musca, the last car on the lead lap. Daniel Scott, Jan-Philippe Busch, the last remaining runners. We lost Peter Parnell, Martin Wupps, Alexander Waldo, Robert de Jong, and Luca Gramke. What a race!
Wow, that was great, and actually more overtaking than I thought we would have around here. But that's just down to the cars being able to follow each other. That push to pass really is a game changer for these cars. So incredible for them out there.
Well, that is it for this evening. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have your company. Thank you very much, Nick Domino, for keeping me on the straight and narrow. It's a difficult job, but you weather it well.
Well, thank you for joining me here in the booth for this particular race, and looking forward to having you with us for the next race.
And I look forward to seeing you lovely people there, either live or post-event, for the next round of the Super Formula here at Apex Online Racing. Until next time, thank you very much, and good night!